so far, because to be honest, I'm also, in the transition from the moment when I finish the school and the moment I start working, from the work and the energy that I passed during the aviation school and what job I got. Advantages and disadvantages of going to the airline. Then the jobs outside of airline. Why is it the second option? What are the benefits? And in the end, my recommendations. The estimated endurance time is going to be 1 hour. I'm happy that there are people from aviation, so I can make this kind of jokes. And just a second to be sure that everything is good. Okay, so I heard I saw a lot of reels on Instagram propaganda I'm not falling for. Airline is the only option, and airline is the best option. And this is the propaganda that I'm not falling for. And I have a bit funny stories that I want to tell you. One is that I finished, the aviation school. I became a flight instructor in my aviation school, and then a couple of months later, I became head of training at Cirrus in Romania, flight instructor, and also selling aircrafts from Cirrus. And I went home to my hometown, and I was talking with my grandma, a non-aviation person, and I was trying to explain to her like what I'm doing and whatever I'm doing, and I became a pilot, a flight instructor. And she was looking at me and she was telling me, okay, but pilot, when are you going to become? And I said, Grandma, I'm already a pilot. No, you know what I'm saying, a pilot. What I'm trying to say is that I think we all imagine and shape ourselves the idea like a pilot is the guy in uniform, walking super confident in the airport. But they are not only this option, and we have much more options in aviation, not only like becoming an airline pilot. And it's not like the best option, it's not the worst option. But the idea that I want to put is that airline, and just like going to general aviation, finding jobs in general aviation, I don't want you to see it as a compromise that I didn't get yet to the airline and I'm just having like a flight instructor job, and this is just a compromise. I don't want you to see it like this. I saw it a little bit in the beginning like this, and I don't want you to make the same mistake, because trust me, you can get so many opportunities and so many skills that you can develop in general aviation that in the airline you may not do it. Okay, so I'm not going to convince you to go to general aviation. I'm not going to tell you that general aviation is better than the airline, but there are many benefits in general aviation that you cannot get in the airline. And if you choose to go in this way for some moment or for your entire career, just don't feel it as a compromise and don't feel it that you don't do as good as someone in the airline. Okay? So who am I? Well, I started when I was 16 years old. I didn't have anything related into aviation. I didn't even fly as commercial. I think my first flight into airlines was when I was 17 or something. But the idea of becoming a pilot, for me, it was like crazy. Like I couldn't even imagine, from a girl from a small town in Romania, from a modest family, to become a pilot. Like there is actually a woman pilot, really. Like I didn't had no idea, zero idea. So this, it was like a fantasy, like me becoming a pilot is like, it was crazy. So that's why I started, and I put more effort, and I got interested in this domain. So at 16 years old, I got the chance. In Romania, there is an option if you are between 16 and 23 years old, you can do for free ultralight, skydiving, and gliding. So I decided to go into gliding. I go in Romania club, and for 3 years each summer I went there. 10 minutes I was flying, but 10 hours I was pushing and pulling gliders under the sun. But I was so happy. I was flying. I was like living the dream. But right now, if you put me to do one day, I would never do it. But when I was small, it was for me. It was a crazy thing for me to fly. After that, I finished the high school. I wanted to become a pilot, but from a little bit financial reasons, I couldn't become. And we talked to my family, and I said, okay, let's go to aerospace engineering, since it's very close to aviation, and since it's for free in Romania, it's a public school. You can go there, and meanwhile, if you're still going to decide after that to become a pilot, maybe it's going to be feasible. So, 19 years old, I started the University of Polytechnica in Bucharest, the Faculty of Aerospace Engineering, the Air Navigation section. It was very good. It was a very nice experience. But to be honest, the day I presented my thesis, the final thesis for for faculty, it was the same day I took the train to the aviation school and enroll. I was so happy to start the aviation school finally. I love engineering, but more I like to fly. Okay. So finally, at 23 years old, 3 years ago, I started my aviation school immediately, like very immediately after I finished the university. Lucky enough, 1 month after I got a job as a flight dispatcher. It was not a big job. I just had to put flight plans for the people. But for me, in the beginning, being so involved in aviation, staying at the school all the time, I got the chance to fly meanwhile I was working. So it was a very good opportunity and a very good chance for me. 2 years later, I get my PPL done. My build-up hours were almost done. I got the chance to fly in many countries, in Greece, in Bulgaria, in Moldova as well, in Hungary. Finally, my ATPL exams were completed. And it was also a master degree in progress. And also I kept my job doing documents. Again, it wasn't a big job, but for me, being involved in the school was a very nice thing. Right after I finished my TPL thing, I did a crazy thing because I really believe that the world belongs to the brave. So I fulfilled a dream that I had for many, many years, and I quit my job. I stopped my aviation school, and for 5 months I went in a solo traveling experience. I went in Europe with zero plans. I worked in hostels without being paid, without just working for free accommodation and food. And I've been in France, in Portugal, in Spain, in Morocco. It was a very nice experience, and this is like a small lesson that you should pursue and follow your dream, no matter what dream is it. And you can, combine both dreams, even if they're not, they don't seem the same. You can do both of them, and you should have the courage to do whatever you want. Okay. I came home, I got my job back, and 7 months later, I finished the aviation school. I got my commercial pilot license, the VFR, and I finished, and like everybody, I got my ATPL frozen in my hand, and I was a little bit lost, like what I'm going to do. Because, also in aviation, things that nobody's telling you from the beginning is that the road is like this. It's never a straight, direct to line, okay, to a waypoint. And, you finish in a moment. Maybe the recruitment is not going to happen at that time because it's in autumn, winter. What we are going to do? So to be honest, I was very confused and very lost. Should I quit my job and just go home and prepare for a potential interview? But then I don't have the money for the type rating. And then if I'm not going to get an interview, I will still keep my job at the aviation school. But at the same time, it's not my dream job. So what I'm going to do? I was very lost. Because of course my goal was airline, not at all general aviation. Okay. So talking with the head of training, I decided to become a flight instructor. I said it may not be such a bad idea. I got the flight instructor. I will see how I'm going to be. I have no idea. I wouldn't like, I don't know. To be honest, I will be completely honest. It came with a lot of stress and anxiety because the student girl that I was before suddenly is going to become a flight instructor. My colleagues right now are my ex instructors. How is going to be? So it wasn't easy, but in the end, I loved it, and I like so much being a flight instructor. I worked 5 months as a flight instructor in my aviation school, and 3 months ago, I got the opportunity to move from the small village where the aviation school is to move to Bucharest to still become a flight instructor, not on Diamond aircrafts, but to become at Cirrus in Romania, to become a flight instructor there, head of training of the school, and sales representative. So to sell SR, Cirrus aircrafts, in Europe. Okay, so this was my journey so far. I started 10 years ago. Now I'm 26, and this is my aviation journey. And the fact that I'm working in general aviation, and I switch a little bit from airline to general aviation. Okay, here are some couple of pictures of my journey. This is the gliding 10 years ago. 10 years ago, such a small lady, such a girl, like very excited, flying 10 minutes under the sun. That's it, but super excited about this. Here is like after I finish the university, aerospace engineering. This is the day I think I took the train to enroll in the aviation school. But to be honest, it was a very nice experience, and I don't regret going to and becoming an engineer as well. Okay, this is the flight school journey. Here on the left is the picture when I exactly started the school, and I remember I cried when I got the uniform and I put the epaulets as a student pilot. And here in the right is me on the first flight solo. To be honest, I don't know why I took a solo. I took a picture. I took a selfie. I don't recommend, guys, if you if you ever fly solo for the first time, at least don't take any pictures. I don't know what I was in my head, but I was super, super excited about this. Okay, this is fly the school journey. You know, I became a little bit more confident. I started to fly solo. I flew to many countries alone, and it was very nice. Okay, okay. Here, also more flight school journey. Here he was also with Captain Joe. I got the chance to represent the school in many countries. I've been to air shows in Germany, in Ireland, in Abu Dhabi, where I met the girls as well. You know, started to become more confident and representing the school, not just like being happy for one flight. Okay. Here is the day I finished my ATPL on the left. I was not very happy. I think I had zero energy in my body. And on the right, it was the day I obtained my commercial pilot license on multi-engine on Tecnam. Okay, here is when I become a flight instructor. In the left is when I switch my epaulets from the school epaulets to the four stripes because I became a flight instructor. And here on the right are two pictures with my students. One of them is when they just passed the skill test. To be honest, I could never imagine that I would like so much to become a flight instructor, and the satisfaction that you can get, it's incredible. So I will totally recommend to you guys to discover this, because to be honest, I've never dreamed to become a flight instructor, but now I told to some of my friends I'm afraid that I like it too much. So maybe you can give it a chance. Okay. And here is my journey right now. You know, the girl 10 years ago that was happy to fly 10 minutes with a glider and stay 10 hours under the sun now became like a more confident lady, selling Cirrus aircrafts, flying with a Vision jet, meeting Catherine, meeting Lily in Germany. Presenting, talking about the aircrafts, being the head of training. So I'm very excited where I am right now, and I think what I learned until now, that I should enjoy the journey and not the destination, because there is no destination actually. It's just like the decision that you take, and just enjoy whatever you are taking. Okay. So, of course, I talk about my general aviation journey, but let's talk about the advantages of going to the airline, because then I'm going to talk a lot about advantages in general aviation. Okay. So, of course, many of you know it gets very comfortable in time, which is very good. Of course, in the beginning, it may be a little bit challenging into airline until you get the type rating, until you get used. But once you get used to the aircraft, I think it will get very comfortable in time. And this is a big advantage. You have a clear career path. You are a flight instructor, you are a first officer, you get 1,500 hours, you get unfrozen ATPL, a little bit more, couple of years, from first officer become captain. So the path is super clear, is direct to, okay? Is better paid, truth be told, it is better paid, and you get this money much easier and much faster that you could get if you do work in general aviation. And you have this job stability. Of course, if a pandemic would come, these things can change, but in the end, if you work in a strong and solid airline company, you have this job stability. And kind of you have a predictable schedule, which means you work like 4 days, 3 days you stay. So kind of you know your schedule in advance. So what are the disadvantages in airline? Because I didn't work, I talked with my friends about what are actually the disadvantages in the airline. So what my friends were telling me is that the good thing is that it gets comfortable. The bad thing is that it gets too comfortable. Okay. Why is that? I have one of my colleague at Cirrus, who is also from Romania. He was a first officer at Ryanair, a ambitious guy. He was a first officer, I think, at 23 years old. So for sure, he would have become a captain before 30. A lot of potential flying at Ryanair. And at some point, he stopped, and right now he's a regional sales director for Cirrus for VisionJet in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And I asked him, like, how does it come? You know, like in general, like people from general aviation go to airline, not people from airline goes to general aviation. I asked him, like, how does it come, Konstantin? Why did you switch? And he told me, like, it gets too comfortable. It's just like you know already the path, you just fly, you know already you are going to reach. I'm a first officer, okay, in a couple of years I'm going to switch the seat. But in the end of the day, just I'm doing the same thing. I know the aircraft by heart. Uh, every 6 months I go to the simulator. I know it already, you know? So maybe getting too comfortable is not such a good thing in the end of the day. Other disadvantages, of course, jet lag, irregular sleep hours, limited aircraft variety. If you work at Wizz Air, at Ryanair, you maybe get only in one type of aircraft, which is not bad, but in the end, maybe you would like to, to increase a little bit, to learn something new in time. So you maybe a little bit don't have such a big flexibility into airlines. Less interaction with people comparing with general aviation. Of course, how you are roasted, you can get other captain, other crew, so you cannot get a very good connection with people. Of course, it can get expensive if you have to pay for the type rating, and this can be a constraint, as it was for me in the beginning. Less hands-on flying and more automation, and of course, this can be the problem that you cannot fly that much. Okay, why should you choose general aviation? Well, what are the advantages of general aviation? First, I would say is the flexibility and the freedom that you can get. Okay, first is the ability to tailor your career. You can become a flight instructor, a corporate pilot, ferry pilot, bush pilot, aerobatic pilot, skydiver. You have so many options in the general aviation, and it's much more flexible. Okay. General aviation is not as fixed as the airline. You don't have SOPs, you don't have like fixed procedures, which comes with a little bit of, you feel that you have more input comparing with the airline. Like in a small startup, you do a little bit of everything, which means that you'll develop a little bit in everything. Okay, you can do a little bit of social media, you represent your company, you represent selling aircrafts or the school, you also become a flight instructor, you also teach theory. So you develop a lot of soft skills that in the airline, maybe you are a little bit more constrained. More control over your schedule, just because you are much more flexible. You can make your schedule, which in the airline is not the case. And possibility to combine flying with other professional activities, being more in control over your schedule. You can have a business at the same time, you can do another training, you can get other ratings, and this is a very good thing. Okay, variety of flying. So you'll get the opportunity to fly different type of aircrafts, not limited to a single type, like in the airlines. Uh, Jet, you can go to multi-engine, single engine, different type of single engines, and this is very nice. Of course, more manual flying. In time, I think it gets much better than too much automation, and you just like field your input. More diverse flying environment, mountain flying, low flying, high flying, IR, VFR, and you'll never get bored in general aviation, truth be told. And the chance to actually traveling without taking an actual holiday. Why I put this? Because let's be honest, all of us that we are going to finish an aviation school, we are going to go to a low-cost company, maybe Wizz Air, Ryanair, EasyJet, and this is like, I think, the myth that we were having in the beginning, that um, you know, I'm going to become an airline pilot and I'm going to take my coffee in Bahamas and I'm going at the dinner in Italy. Well, truth be told, probably you're going to a destination and you stay up half an hour and you come back to your base. So you don't have the so many opportunities to actually traveling and you have to take like a holiday like in any other job. But on the other hand, if you work in general aviation, for sure you're going to have some days off, you're going to other countries, and you're much more flexible and you can feel that you're actually traveling while you are working. Okay. Another advantage in general aviation is that you have a closer connection to the community. You get to know your students if you become a flight instructor, the clients, the passengers, and this is a very nice advantage. You you make a very nice connection with the students, and believe me, you get so much satisfaction when a student gets his first solo, and you think and you know that this student is going to become a captain, maybe in Emirates, and you put a little bit your input in this, and it's a very big satisfaction, and it's nothing for me personally that I can compare with. Okay. You often work in smaller, more passionate aviation communities. If you work in a gigantic corporate airline company, probably you'll never know all the people. You'll never um, know the CEO or the board people. But at the same time, if you work in a smaller community, you get to know the everybody. You can have an input, you can have your feedback, and it's much easier to feel that you're actually involved in the company per se. Often more human-sized work environment, exactly like what I was saying, small teams and a personal touch, a personal atmosphere. Okay. Another advantage, opportunities for personal growth. You just don't have to wait as it is a procedure like in Air France. You have to wait 5, 6, 7 years until from a first officer to become a captain. If you are good enough, you can become theoretically chief flight instructor, theoretically theory instructor, head of training, sales manager, regional sales manager, regional sales director. It's much easier to grow in general aviation. You have the opportunity to build your projects besides this, and easier to build a personal brand as a pilot, because many airline companies will have their policies. You cannot post whatever you want, you cannot make a brand out of this, and you are just much more constrained, you know. But when you are in general aviation, you have this freedom to post, to associate with other brands, with other companies, and this becomes much easier if you want to make a brand out of your work. And a sense of purpose and contribution, helping to develop the next generation of pilots. Again, big satisfaction of becoming a flight instructor, more creative and dynamic career possibility. And here I put three extra advantages. One is easier to switch jobs, which means that, for example, if you become, let's say, a first officer in Wizz Air, maybe if you go to British, if you become a captain at Wizz Air, maybe if you go to British, you are going to become a first officer there. Okay, so there are different policies, and it's not that easy to switch the jobs. At the same time, being a flight instructor or head of training is going to be much easier to switch the jobs. Okay. The second advantage, you can have multiple jobs at the same time. Okay, if you work with a PFA, we have many cases in Romania. They don't have like a job per se. They work per hour of flying, of hour of theory. So you can work in a school flying a VFR. You can be instructor in the simulator. At the same time, you can be corporate pilot. So you can be a little bit everywhere and fly much more. You can be much more flexible in flying. And as everybody is saying, or what I heard in aviation, you always find a job as a flight instructor. Why is that? Because there are a lot of aviation schools, students are coming all the time, and flight instructors are leaving, or they are going to other jobs, or they are going to airline. So the need of flight instructor is always there. And in the end of the day, you have a backup plan. Something is happening, I can return, I can become a flight instructor. I don't like it to airlines, or something is not working. I have another job in aviation as a pilot, and I can enjoy this as well. Okay. So what should you choose then? Well, I cannot tell you this. I cannot tell you this. I just put some advantages, but in the end of the day, the opportunity that you should have is the one that comes in your hand faster, and the one that maybe you want more and you feel the path that you want to, where you want to go. If, for example, you feel that, or you know that the recruitment is going to come, go to the airline. If, for example, you have the money for the type rating as a backup, and this is your dream, then go to the airline. But at the same time, if you don't have these opportunities and you feel you want to become a flight instructor, or you want to remain in the aviation school, or to become a dealer for aircrafts, do it wholeheartedly, and don't see it as a compromise, because you see how many advantages you can have in comparison with going to the airline. Okay, so my recommendation, first of all, this is the recommendation if you're going to choose general aviation. First of all, enjoy the journey. Whatever is coming, just enjoy. Be happy with whatever you're choosing, because this is not your lifetime job, okay? You can change it. It's just a job. Continue, see what is good for you. And if not, you can switch, and or you can get other ratings, and you can shape a little bit yourself, and just try it. Just enjoy the journey, okay? So if you're going to go into general aviation, my recommendation is to do while you are young. Why is that? Because while we are young, and I see myself in this position as well at 26 years old, I'm very flexible. I've been to America to fly there for a couple of weeks with a Cirrus. I'm so happy and excited about everything. Going to air shows, staying in the hotels, seeing a lot of countries, traveling. And I know that maybe in 10 years, I'm not going to be so excited anymore about all of this. But right now, this kind of unpredictability, okay, and traveling, for me right now is like the best thing, okay? So if you choose general aviation, maybe you should do it while you're young. Then experience as much as possible and know what you like. Why I'm saying this is that because I told you already, I've never thought, okay, that I would like to become a flight instructor, or I like it so much. Not only even flying, but explaining the theory and everything. I've never thought about this. So just experience, because maybe you like selling aircrafts, you like becoming, maybe working in the safety department and doing the documents, things that you've never thought about doing it, and you're just focusing on putting that uniform and going in the airport. And there are other options as well. Then you have the benefit of making mistake, okay, the beginner mistake. And this I heard a lot in when I joined Cirrus, because they were telling me, Anna, talk with people, try to sell an aircraft, and if they're telling you something, I'm sorry, I'm in the beginning, I just tried. You have this beginner mistake. We are young, we can do mistakes, it's okay, people understand us, we are in the beginning. So experience, and don't be shy about anything. We are in the beginning, we are young. Okay, develop your network. What I was hearing, and it remained in my mind a lot, is not just important what you know, but who you know. Okay, because in the beginning we have this tendency, to focus so much on ATPL exams and finishing and with a good grade and finishing IR and having all the ratings and going to the airline, or like remaining as a flight instructor. And I have all the licenses in my pocket, but at the same time, you have no idea how much is going to help you develop a little bit the networking around you. And that's why I recommend to join an NGO, to go to a community like Elevate Her. It's amazing. Meeting these ladies like inspiring me so much. I met other ladies through them. Going to air shows, going to aviation events, connect with people, connect on LinkedIn, talk with people, maybe even making a personal branding and talk on Instagram about this. Just develop your networking around you. Okay? And of course, create memories, travel the world, and have fun. Okay? Because this is the journey is all about. Just having fun and enjoy every moment. Okay, what are the extra skills that you may get if you choose general aviation in comparison with the airline? Of course, we talked about what are the benefits, but extra skills or soft skills, more precise, if you go to general aviation in comparison with the airline. So first of all would be the adaptability, and this would be the most important one. Why? Because it's not a fixed job, okay? You just have to adapt with the job per se. Now you work in the documents, then you can become a flight dispatcher, then you can become a flight instructor, then you can, or before you teach the theory. So you have to adapt with the situation that you are in, and becoming a flight instructor is you're going to develop a lot this skill, adaptability, because the students or the clients are super different. There are kids that are talking too much, or they are talking less, that are putting too many questions. There are people where you have to be a little bit more serious because they want you to take you seriously for what are you doing, but at the same time there are people or kids that are too shy, so you have to encourage them and be very supportive. So you have to adapt, and this adaptability is one of the main soft skills that you can get if you work in general aviation, especially as a flight instructor. Then understanding the concepts better. Why is that? Is also if you're going to have the chance to teach theory, you're going to see, because the truth is you're going to pass PPL, you're going to pass ATPL, and after a couple of months, you're going to forget whatever you are learning. Believe me, we've all been through this. We all believe that we are going to remember everything, and in the end, we forgot a lot of stuff. So but the moment, and this is true, and I couldn't believe until I was in this position, the moment you're going to explain the concepts to someone else, you're going to understand them for good, okay? I remember when I passed ATPL exams, I passed with good grades, so I think 93% was the average at my ATPL, and I was thinking I was very good, and I remember I started teaching flight planning for PPL, and I remember I stopped, and I said like, how do I explain momentum to a kid? I know how it is. I know how to respond if you give me four answers, but how do I explain it, you know? How do I make a story like around this, okay? So understanding the concepts better give you a very it's a skill that you can get while you're going to explain as a flight instructor or as a theory instructor, okay? And also when you're going to fly with the kids, you're going to see that you have to explain them what is the stall, and to make again a story out of this, not just like a definition or not just the skill of putting the right answer, okay? Then public speaking, of course, this depends very much what you're going to do. But for example, if you represent the company, the aviation school, the startup, or this, for example, in my case, the Cirrus, where I have to talk with other people, you can get this public speaking skill that you may thought that you wouldn't get if you work in aviation. But surprise, if you work in general aviation, you can shape, and become better with this skill. Then documents master, I think that nobody likes to do, but if you are good in this, everybody wants you. So you may not know, but if you work in general aviation, because it's not so well organized as it is in the airline, you may need also to look in the part FCL at some information. You may need to find other documents. You may need to verify. So you will become better just by doing this, okay? Then airmanship is also a skill that you can get if you work in general aviation. Why is that? It's because you are much more involved in the flying process per se. Why? Because you're going to talk with handling. You're going to see if you have avgas or JT1. You're going to see if you have the endurance, if you fly a small aircraft, at what level, the weather, and everything. You are much more involved in the process, and your airmanship, you're going to just become a better pilot by this. I put this, of course, becoming a better pilot because you're much more involved in the flying process per se. Maybe you fly aircrafts that don't have like autopilot, so everything is manual. And because you are going to switch from one aircraft to another, it comes naturally. You are just going to become a better pilot. Persuasion, if you are going to become a dealer, for example, if you are into selling, it's not just like someone is going to give you the POH and learn it and try to sell it. You're going to go to courses, to take some trainings. At Cirrus, I got so many training and lessons that I had, to learn from other people, and how to convince people how to sell not the aircraft, not the serious aircraft, but the serious life. And this is another advantage that you can get while you're working in general aviation. Organizing events as well. For example, I've been to an event from driving a Porsche to flying a Cirrus. You can organize also this kind of events. Also with the aviation school, that you don't have to work with um, you don't have to work with a school, but with the Cirrus, for example. But at the same time, you can have this occasion to organize events. Backup plan, as I said before, all the time, if you work in general aviation, you just start with general aviation from the beginning. You can have this opportunity to have a backup plan all the time. I don't like anymore to work in the airline, or I don't know, I switch to a base where I don't like and I want to go home. Something is happening, okay? I have this backup plan, I have this rating, okay? I can become a flight instructor, and the opportunity to link in the future with the airline. Why is that? I think you know that in the future you can become first officer, captain, and then you can become an examiner for the airline, and also a TRI. And you cannot become an examiner and a flight instructor in the airline if you don't get the flight instructor rating. So you can link it before into airline, and this, I think, in my opinion, comes with a lot of benefits. Okay. And I put here, you can start while you are in the school already. If you don't ask, you don't get. I know it's very used, but believe me, this is true. Okay. I'm telling you this because I got this chance to get this job being a flight dispatcher while I was in the aviation school. And I was super happy about this. And again, it was not a big job. I was just putting some flight plans for students and for flight instructors. But to be honest, I went there and I said, look, I started my aviation journey. I'm an engineer. I will be here. So if I can get a job, why not? I'm not sure how many of you are in the aviation school right now, are student pilot, but you may be in a school. For example, in the school where I was, it was a small school, and in time it became much bigger. And they need people. Okay, so I had a very good friend of mine who is right now in the school, and she's passing ATPL exams, but at the same time she's teaching PPL for kids. Okay, and she's doing this with money, she's doing this with free hours. So she just asked, and now she's teaching PPL. So you can get this at your aviation school, so you can start this journey already when you are a student pilot. Okay, you can help at the documents, what I was doing in the school as well. Fly with other students as a safety pilot is a very good thing. While you are increasing a little bit with the flying and with the build-up hours, you become much more confident. You flew to other airports. You can become a safety pilot for others, and they are going to see you as a mentor. Why not? So maybe in the future, a flight instructor or the head of training is going to see you and is going to believe, I don't know, this lady may become a good flight instructor. Who knows? Okay. And you already have a little bit, you got used how to explain some stuff to some people. So just get involved. Social media as well. You can go to the school, you can see that it's not posting anything. Hey, can I post stuff for you? Can I be at the social media? I think we are the young generation that we can work a little bit in Canva. We like to post on Instagram. We can make some reels. So why not? You don't ask, you don't get. Fly dispatcher, what I was doing, and participate in aviation events with the school. I got this opportunity as well. I flew in many countries. I've been in Emirates, I've been in Ireland, in UK, I've been in Germany, in Ireland. I've been in many countries representing the school with the whole team, and this helped me very much. And also seeing other countries, connecting with people, because on this event I met also Catherine. So it's a very good opportunity. Why? Because I was just involved in the school. I was a flight dispatcher, then I started to fly with other students. I posted a little bit on social media as well. So at some point I was just starting to participate in some aviation events. Okay. This was my presentation. I wanted to be a little bit shorter, so in the end, if you have other questions, I would be more than happy to answer to them. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you find it a little bit inspiring. I hope you liked it. This is also my Instagram, Pilot Ana Maria. If you find that you have other questions in the future, I'm posting there my journey because I'm still young. I'm 26 years old. I'm not an old person that is talking about their very big career. I just started as well. I'm also stressed. I'm also anxious. I'm also doubting myself many times if I took the right decision, if this is good, what I want to do in the future. I want to do that. I want to get other job. No, I like this. So it's okay. What I'm trying to say that it's okay. And I'm very happy that I chose general aviation and I develop a little bit in this area as well. This doesn't imply that I don't want to go in the future in the airline at all. I may go in 1 year, in 10 years, or maybe never. Who knows? Who knows? But this is who I am. Hope you find it interesting. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much. That was absolutely wonderful. It's so lovely to hear about your journey and yeah, just fantastic. And it's so lovely to hear more about general aviation as a career choice as well, because like you said, we do talk a lot about the airlines. We do that path is quite set. People know kind of what it's going to look like. So yeah, it's fantastic to hear your perspective. I think I did just see a couple of hands up, so we can go to questions. If you've got a question for Anna Maria, please just pop up your hand. I think I did see someone a minute ago. If not, I've got one that actually I can read out, which was in the comments. Someone asked actually, which aviation school did you go to after university?
Okay, I've been in Romania. It is called Regional Air School. It is a small city close to Constanța near the Black Sea. It's a modular school and it was very good. It's a kind of cheap school comparing with the others. And I recommend it. If you have more questions or more like detailed questions, you can write me on Instagram and I will answer to them.
Brilliant. Does anyone else have any questions? Please just pop up your hand or put a message in the chat. I'm actually going to ask a question, so while I'm talking, please feel free to do that. But obviously, you've done so much and you've had an amazing career so far. I mean, in fact, your 26 is amazing. All the different things that you've done, it's wonderful to hear about your journey. But my kind of question is, how do you, if you have something that you need to overcome or a challenge or an exam or, something like that, or something you don't know how to tackle, do you have a strategy for how to tackle these challenges that you face?
Of course, I have a lot of moments where I'm doubting myself, things that didn't work as planned, many of them. Um, to be honest, I don't know exactly if I have some a strategy in how to overcome them. I'm just like trusting the process and trying to think that nothing is for good. It's just temporary, whatever it is. Okay. If you like it, if you don't like it, if, for example, you become a flight instructor and you think this is not for you, you're not going to retire becoming a flight instructor. Okay. It's just a thing. And whatever you are doing right now doesn't say anything about what you're going to do in the future. That doesn't define you as a person. Okay. You can become this, you can become good at this. Maybe I'm good as a flight instructor, but we don't know, maybe I'm not very good in becoming I don't know, an airline, or I don't like being an airline pilot. Okay, so whatever I am doing doesn't define you the person. And just trust the process and enjoy the journey, whatever it is, and find your way. We are young, we don't know like what aviation is going to give to us, so just take it easy. This would be my advice.
Honestly, that's so powerful, and it's really refreshing to hear that. I think so. There's so much pressure on all of us, especially in aviation, to know to know right from the off what we're going to do with our lives and where we're going to go. But you're so right. Like it's so refreshing to just be like, yeah, try it, give it a go. It might be for you, it might be not, but enjoy the journey and just embrace it. So that's honestly so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Of
And
course,
I'll
thank you
do.
very much.
No, honestly, it's been an absolute joy. So does anyone have any other questions? give it a couple of seconds. If anyone's got anything, raise
Like
your
guys,
hand.
if you want to, I don't know, to present yourself, or I don't know, if you want to tell your journey, if you have other questions in becoming a flight instructor or head of training or selling person of Cirrus, for example, how it is a Cirrus, please let me know. I would be
Cool.
more than happy to have a discussion because I don't know persons here at which level they are. Are people that finish the school, are in the process, they just start flying. I would be more than happy to meet some of the people from this community.
Amazing. We've got a couple of different questions actually just coming into the chat box. Are you okay if I just read them out to you?
Of course, please.
So we've got Mimi who says, firstly, she loved listening to your journey. And what did you find to be the most effective way to build your confidence?
Uh, I'm still building. I'm still building it, and to be honest, also small lesson that I want to tell you is that I don't want to come here as a successful person that did a lot of stuff, and right now I'm presenting what I'm doing. I also have a lot of moments when I'm not confident in myself. I'm not confident in the decision that I'm taking, even if I'm working at Cirrus and I'm selling the most sexiest, most sold aircraft on the market. Okay, still I'm confident. I don't know if I'm doing well. I'm doing mistakes. Okay, so I'm still having this kind of battles maybe every day. Okay, so and also I'm also want to share my journey is that I'm just a simple girl that is doing this. Okay, I didn't get this aviation since I was a little girl. Okay, I was didn't have this avi passion about aviation since I was a little girl. So I'm just super normal person, and I just want to share that it can be possible. If I could do this, everybody can do this. So with confidence, I'm just therapy is also maybe good. I think if you really, I was doing therapy very much, and it helped me a lot. Also, be encouraged, be surrounded by people people that you appreciate. Go in communities like Elevator, really go in communities and talk with people like Catherine and Lily, and people that are so inspiring and they're very nice to you. And you feel that if you don't find your community, it's just like you don't find the people in that area. Just go somewhere else, and you will find. I promise you. And these ladies are doing an amazing job building this community. So just find your community where you are going to feel good, and I think through this you can build more the confidence. But don't worry, it's like up and down all the time.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, again, that's really refreshing and powerful to hear. I think all of us feel like that, confidence, you don't get given it, you build it along the way. And yeah, you're
Of
you're
course.
so right. We've got actually quite a few questions. So have you got enough time to answer a few more, if that's
I
okay?
have plenty of time. I have the whole day
Oh,
for
fantastic.
you.
Okay. So we've got someone, Amelia, who says, how did you overcome the feeling of being not good enough or not knowing enough coming from a non-aviation background?
I think I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I was very, to be honest, I was very unconfident in the beginning. I stressed myself. I put so much pressure in on my shoulders from the beginning, and I shouldn't do it. Like an advice that I would give right now to people that are in the school is that not don't put so much pressure on your shoulders, and just take it easy. You're going to make bad landings. It's okay. This doesn't define your aviation journey. You can take a lower grade at ATPL, or you can fail an exam and just pass it once again. Nobody's going to ask, or if they ask, this doesn't define you. Okay, so don't put so much pressure. It is okay, step by step. Just imagine it in the beginning, and sometimes on also I feel that I don't appreciate where I am right now because I'm feeling I didn't go to the airline. I don't fly that much, or I fly too much and I'm tired and I'm going there. I just remember literally the girl at 16 years old that was flying like 10 minutes, couldn't fly solo because it was not ready yet, okay? And didn't have the confidence. And for me, just flying a single engine piston aircraft was amazing. That I was looking like this, or flying solo. The idea of like one day flying solo was really like, wow. And now you are reaching to fly solo, you are reaching to fly maybe in other countries, to take your parents or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your friends. It's amazing. Like just enjoy where you are, because maybe 3 years ago you would have dreamed to be here, and you are. Wherever you are in that moment. So this would be my advice. I hope I'm not talking like with quotes and very much theory stuff, but this is like what I'm feeling, and just so you know, whatever you're going to do in your career, this ups and down and unconfidence moment, you're going to feel it all the time. They're not going to pass. Okay, this moment of feeling in doubt, you're going to feel it all the time. Okay, whatever, if you are starting PPL, finishing ATPL, becoming a flight instructor, head of training, selling serious, you're going to feel unconfident, and I will promise you this. It's just how to handle this, how to play with these moments.
That's really good advice. Thank you so much for that. We've got Susan as well, who's asking any suggestions for building a network in aviation. That's a good question.
Yes. So first would be to take it slow, go to the air shows in your country, go to aviation events. If, for example, you build resources, you can go to events outside the country, like Aerofriedenschaffen if you are from Europe. Very big event, very nice event. Then, if you are confident enough and you feel that you can make a brand and you can start posting your journey in aviation. To be honest, I wanted to do this since I started my PPL, but I was not confident at all. I said like nobody's going to watch this, like literally, like I didn't want to start this, and I didn't, and I started like only 3 months ago. And to be honest, I regret 100%. But I was just not confident. I was like, sure, nobody's going to watch. I just started PPL. Like, no, don't be like this. Just if you feel that you want to do this, make a brand, start to post on Instagram, and you're going to find these opportunities. Then and people are going to come to you, and you're just going to build this network. Then come to webinars like this. You're going to meet me, you're going to meet other people, you meet Catherine, you go to other communities. It's a very good start. Communities like this are a blessing. It's a hidden gem. So believe me, stay, not just like a story on Instagram, but just like participate in webinars, talk with Catherine. What can I do? Be a volunteer somewhere. Just participate actively, because then you're going to build the network. Then maybe on LinkedIn as well, there are more professional people there, so you can post, you can connect with people. And in the end of the day, don't be shy. Go to, I don't know, pilot show or something, and just like put your hand, talk with people. Who are you? Take a picture, and just like build the connection by just making you the first step. Okay, it's easy. I'm not having a huge connection, but poco a poco, step by step.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree, and I'll add on to that a little bit as well. Yeah, taking the first step can be really hard. It can be really hard to put yourself out there and to go to events and meet people. But genuinely, that's probably the best place to start building up a bit of a community. And Susan, if you wanna, please feel free to DM us at Elevate Her or contact me directly if there's any events or anything we can do to support or loop you in with any of our WhatsApp group chats or anything like that. Let me know, because that's what we're here for, guys. It's all about connection. It's all about supporting each other. So yeah, but exactly everything you just said was absolutely perfect. Yeah, totally, couldn't agree more. And we've got a couple more questions, if that's okay. I will try and get Anna Maria to answer as many of these as you can, because it's so great. So we've got one from Sylvia, which is she's actually got two questions. So first one is, what's the most memorable flight experience you've had? And oh, actually, one of them's not a question, but she said her mum is a little bit scared of flying, so doesn't want her to go flying this year, which is until next year, which is quite sad. But I will lead with, what's the most memorable flight experience you've had?
Mm, Let me think. I think was when I was in the build-up hours, and of course I took a PPL, but I was very anxious. I was stressed. I flew first time to Hungary with a flight instructor as a safety pilot, and the same day he told me, because it is in Schengen, go to Slovenia, go back, and then on the way back you go alone. And I was super stressed, like I was okay. I was confident. Everything looks good. I was confident in my flying skills, but still, for the first time flying in another country by my own, it didn't come easy. And of course, I was preparing everything. I was talking in my room with whom I have to talk, and I was thinking step by step everything. And in the end, I remember that I landed in Romania in the aviation school. I think it was like 7:30 p.m. It was summertime, so it was still light, and the school was open only for me because everybody was waiting for me. I think for them it wasn't the best day, but for me it was a very good day because I was feeling, this small thing, like small prices that you get in the end, the idea of just flying yourself in another country by your aircraft, coming home, I don't know, taking some stuff from another country. It's amazing. It's a thing that I will never forget. And I think also it's my recommendation, if you are right now in the build-up hours, try as much as possible to fly in a lot of maybe a lot of countries, a lot of cities, a lot of airports with safety pilots. It's going to be stressful in the beginning, but this is how you build confidence. Believe me.
No, that's great. And yeah, that sounds like such a lovely flight. I can picture it as you were saying it. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then we got just a couple more. So obviously we all know flight training is expensive. There is a cost barrier there. But what are some good ways? I know you mentioned gliding early on, but what are some good ways you can get into aviation that are maybe a little bit more cost effective?
If you are from Romania, I'm not sure if there are people here. In Romania, it's a good thing that if you are between, again, 16 and 23 years old, you can get for free gliding, skydiving, and ultralights. Um, in other countries, I'm not sure. You can start, for example, at 16, 17 years old to start by gliding, even if it's not going to help you with the flying hours in the future, but it's just like cheaper and you can feel a little bit if you like to fly or not. It can test you a little bit. Okay. And for me, I will be completely honest. I got financial support from my family with the aviation school. I was working a little bit in the fac during university, but didn't come easy. It was an effort for my family, and that's the reason why I did university, because they told me, Anna, we don't have money for the aviation school, and we just have to do the university, and then we are going to think if we can. Okay, so I know it's a big effort, and that's why I just take it easy. Don't compare with the others, because it's a domain where you actually need money, let's face it, and it can become a criteria where it can filter some people, unfortunately. Okay, so just take it easy. In my aviation school, I saw many people that are doing this. They're over 35 years old and they want to become airline pilots. I saw ex-cabin crew ladies with the kids in their hand, and they just like come here to fly, and they're going back and having kids and just trying to fulfill this dream and become airline pilot. So it is possible even a little bit later. And of course, again, I'm repeating myself, staying close to communities like Elevator, or if you have in your country some communities, because they are going to pose some opportunities, some internship that you can have. So through this, you may get some easy thing, some cheaper things. And also, for example, WAPA, Wizz Air Pilot Academy, you can get the flight school for free or much cheaper. And I think also EasyJet has some opportunities. So you just like have to look a little bit where you can get the flight school a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, totally. And I'll kind of add in a little bit for that in the UK. Gliding obviously is more cost effective. It's a fantastic way into the industry. Also doing lessons and training on microlights now is becoming quite popular in the UK. And again, they're more cost effective. But there are some amazing scholarships, programs, cadet schemes, loads of different things out there. Elevate Her this year, we've done our first bursaries as well. So there's lots of different things from, Royal Aeronautical Society, Honourable Company of Air Pilots, the Air League in the UK, and obviously cadet schemes like Speedbird, for instance. And my advice would be apply for everything. Apply for everything.
Exactly.
Put your
Mhm.
name forward and just go for it. And the thing is, if you don't get it, that's fine because you learn. You get feedback on your application and you go again. One of the Elevate Her team is a very good friend of mine. I don't. She actually brought up a list of everything that she applied for, and it was huge. But out of all of those things, she got a few of them, and it made an absolute difference to her journey and her training. So, yeah, apply for everything. There's some great stuff out there on Elevate Her. We list a lot of it online under our scholarships tab. So please do check that out there. But yeah, don't give up. Keep going. There's lots of support out there, and just apply for as much as you possibly can. Go for it. And that kind of brings me into our last question, which is, did your university qualification relate to aviation, and what course did you take?
Um, so engineering, right? What I
Mhm.
was doing. So basically, I finished air navigation section. To be honest, it helped me a little bit doing the degree, but not that much. Um, so and so, to be honest. Like, of course, they're like the most basic concepts you're going to find in both of them, of course. But aviation school, the theory, it's much easier that you can get in the university, the faculty. Because, for example, I'm taking my specific case. It was a lot of mathematics, physics, things that you'll never get into, like becoming a pilot. So much physics, fluid dynamics, and something that when I came to aviation and the theory that I had to learn, for example, for ATPL, I didn't find it that much in the university. Of course, doing mathematics, physics helped me a lot, shaping my brain and being like much faster in the calculations and stuff like this. But if you are thinking right now in doing either aviation school or university, uh, this doesn't help you so much. Doesn't help you so much. But to be honest, I recommend if you want to do it, why not? It's a backup plan. And in the future, to be honest, after I finish my aviation school, all the time when I was saying I'm a pilot, but I'm also aerospace engineering, it was a plus. So all the time, of course, university in any domain you are doing, it is a plus. Okay, this is the truth. But you have also, you need to like the domain that you are doing, not just because if you don't like it, it's not worth it to just pass 4 years, 3 years in a university, which is hard, by the way, just to have a name in the end. Okay.
Amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much for doing this webinar. Honestly, it's been brilliant, and you are such an inspiration. And honestly, I was so lucky to have met you when we met for the first time in Abu Dhabi. And yeah, honestly, it's a real pleasure to have you on this webinar. I'm sure everybody else has enjoyed it just as much as I have and learned a lot. So thank you so much, and I'll kind of bring it to a close. But yeah, just thank you so much for all your support of Elevate Her and for doing this. And it's honestly just so lovely to talk with you.
Thank you very much for everything, and hope you liked my webinar. For people that were participating, I really appreciate your time and the fact that you came here. And if you are doing the school and or if you finished, good luck in everything. I'm sure you are amazing. You are going to do amazing. It's going to be ups and downs, believe me, even after you finish. But just trust the process and enjoy the journey. And we are here. All the girls here are to support you. And Catherine is doing an amazing job, and I'm very, very grateful to be part of this amazing community. So thank you very much again for coming here.
Oh, well, no, thank you. And yeah, we're all here, guys. We're all here supporting you, cheering you on. If you ever need anything, all you need to do is just get in contact over Instagram, send us a WhatsApp, send us an email, and we're always here for you anytime. So yeah, I hope you all have a lovely evening or morning, depending on where you are, and we will catch up again very soon. But thank you all and have a good time.
Have a good time. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.